Welcome to Sportsbet Daily at oddsmarket.com. It's Champions League final qualifiers. It's been brutal so far. It's squeaky bum time for them remaining 12 teams who want to go through to the group stages. Celtic gone, Porto gone, Dynamo Kiev gone and Basel gone. All normally group regulars, but for this year they're going to have to try and fight it out in the Europa League. I'm going to be joined today by Alex Classic Tips and Martin Green. How are we, lads?
We are
good,
absolutely amazing today.
Listen, we're looking at these teams. There's 12 teams hoping to get into the group stages, and the big problem we've got is that so many have gone, and it looks so tight. Are we looking at tight games?
Yeah, horrendous. I'd say this is a horrendous round of fixtures for betting on. I'm struggling to find any value whatsoever. There's just teams that are very evenly matched, a lot of freak results in the previous rounds, and it looks very tough to me.
I think these qualifiers have been tough, and if you have a look at our Champions League record so far, I mean, we're more than holding our own. We're looking at it and you think to yourself, well, we're going to make our money in the group stages when we know that over the years we've done so well. But so far, it's like with these big guns going out as well, you're looking at them thinking, first leg, no one's actually going to want to fall away. I mean, we look at the first game, Apoel versus Ajax. Now, everyone would normally say Ajax is a shoo-in. What do you think, Alex?
I think that you said about Celtic and Basel, they are out of the Champions League. But maybe it's better for them to play in Europa League because on the Champions League group stage, they couldn't get the results to qualify in the playoffs, in the knockout stages after the winter, you know. I think that is the perfect spot for them to have a deep run in Europa League and to get more money, because this is what they are actually on here for money, because never Celtic or Basel can win a European trophy, you know. I don't think that they will. So I think that it's better for them to stay away from the Champions League, to have a deep run in Europa League, and everyone should be happy. But yes, it was a huge surprise to see Celtic out, and also Basel out, also Porto out of this competition. Porto, I think that the biggest surprise from the last qualifying matches is Porto. It's not Celtic. I think that Cefere Cluj played absolutely amazing against Celtic on the road, and I think that they deserved to win that match and to qualify in the playoffs. They have 100% spot in the European competitions. But talking about this Ajax game for a little bit, I think that Apoel is the end of the road for them in Champions League. I think that they will be happy with their Europa League performance, because they will get knocked out from here and they will play in Europa League group stages. Ajax will win both matches. I'm really sure about that. Apoel, a huge surprise. They beat Karabakh on the road there. Nobody expected that. But I saw the match and it was pure luck, in my opinion. Ajax without Delight and Frankie de Jong, but still with a brilliant team. Ziyech, Tadic, Quinson Promes, Van de Beek, Blind, the new winger there, Marin, the Romanian guy, who after a brilliant season last year in Belgium. I think that they will smash Apoel. I'm going Ajax and over 2.5 goals at 1.89.
Yeah, I mean, the 1.89 looks good, especially going over, because Ajax have been shipping goals home and away. Their opposition have always found the back of the net. I was quite impressed with Apoel. They really grew in confidence away in Krasnodar. Obviously upset quite a few tip sheets. But Ajax, they cannot follow the likes of Porto, Celtic, Kiev and Basel. They must go through. I mean, the Champions League won't be the same without them. Martin, do you just think that it's a straight Ajax win, but there's no value?
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Flash, to be honest. I am probably going to put Ajax in a couple of parlays. This is probably the one game that I do quite like the look of from that perspective in this round of qualifiers. But Yeah, there isn't a great deal of value there. Their form recently has been a bit patchy. They've looked good in the Eredivisie, but in Champions League qualifying, they have solid as you would expected. They had a real scare in the last round against PAOK Salonika. So it does fill me with a bit of trepidation ahead of this match. But as Alex said, they do still retain a very, very strong side from last season. Obviously, they've lost two players in De Jong and De Ligt, who were their finest two stars. But there's still a lot of talent in that team, and they really should be going and winning this one. Yeah, I think they'll win it. So I would put that in an accumulator at 1.5. It was actually 1.57 yesterday, so the odds have gone in. Yeah, I mean, I'd maybe lean towards giving them a -1 Asian handicap at odds of 1.8, because I think at the worst they'll win by a goal and you'll get your money back.
Okay, well, here's another one we could maybe put
Also,
in there is Club Bruges away at Lask. I mean, you're looking at Lask and thinking, well, they've got to be over the moon to get into the Europa League stages. But I mean, you look at the price, 2.5. Club Bruges nearly even money at 1.98. Alex, 1.98 for Club Bruges. Happy or not?
2.98.
no, up 2 point something, right?
2.98 on Club Brugge.
2.98.
Wow.
2.98.
Treble your money.
Flash's bookie.
Yeah, but Flash's bookie this time is giving him the bad odds, the bad set of odds. But I wanted to ask you, do we have a record for a Champions League? Are we doing good still with the huge surprises that happened last week?
Yeah, we're doing okay. We're holding our own, Alex. I mean, we'll get that up in a minute, and when it comes up, then I'll flag it up for you. But until then,
okay.
Lask at home at 2.5. You like that?
Lask, what a story of Lask Linz. Linz promoted in the top flight league, in their domestic league in 2017. Right now, they are one step away to qualify in the Champions League group stage. This is an amazing story of football, For the first time in their history, they will play in the group stages of one European competitions, either is Champions League, either is Europa League, depending what they will do against Club Brugge. No, I don't like, to be honest, the away bet at 2.95. Maybe a draw, double chance there in an accumulator bet, but I really think that LSAK will find the back of the net against the Bruges, who are struggling on the road. They are not winning matches, most of all in the European competitions. So I think that I don't know if we will see an upset and Linz to win this match, but both teams to score should be a banker in this one at 1.72.
Martin, would you think that Club Brugge are the side to take out of this tie over the two legs?
Yeah, I think so. Just based on them having a greater pedigree in European football and a more stellar collection of names that I recognise. I mean, you've got the likes of Mignolet in there. I think they're more of an established European team. I think they have got superior quality, so I would fancy them to get through over both legs. Just not sure how they'll fare in this first leg. I think it's difficult to go on the road. I think it'll be a bit of a cagey game. So, yeah, I think it could sort of maybe end up in a draw, this one. But, yeah, I would fancy Bruges to get through over both legs.
Okay, both teams to score looks like the way to go there, 1.72. And if you like Ajax at 1.52 or Ajax and over at 1.89 for over 2.5 goals, you can stick them in together. We're going to have a look at Zagreb versus Rosenborg now. Zagreb 1.66, draw 4 and Rosenborg at 6. Alex, where have you found the value here?
Also, our friends from chat are saying Bruges versus Lask, both team to score, and the over 2.5 at 1.98. Gabriel is saying Lask versus Bruges, both team to score. Barsaman, both team to score and overs. Barsaman is going for Ajax draw double chance and both teams to score at 2.59. So he's thinking Apoel will score and Ajax will not lose that game. 2.59. I think that is a great set of odds there from Barsaman. Zagreb all the way. Zagreb, yes, in the first leg against Ferencvaros, they struggled a little bit, but they went on the road in Hungary and they destroyed the Hungarian side 4-0. Rosenborg, not the type of team that I expect them to get the results on the road. Zagreb at home all the way, win for me, home win at 1.77. I think that they will qualify once again in the Champions League group stages. Last year they had some great results in the Europa League group stages. They qualified in the knockout stages, and I think that they will play again in the European competitions, and they will do it in style. I think that they will win this first leg at home. They are a great team. They are a fast team. They are trying to find always spaces in their opponent's defense. They are creative. They have a creative midfield. And I think that 1.77 a home win there for Dinamo Zagreb represents good value.
Yeah, 1.77, Martin, to go maybe with your Ajax in your parlay?
Yeah, it sounds like a
Yes.
good idea, actually. I don't rate this Rosenborg team at all. Seen them get turned over by Celtic in the previous 2 seasons. I'm surprised they've made it this far, to be honest. I think they've had a bit of an easy run when you consider the quality of some of the teams in this qualifying competition. So, yeah, I think on the road in Croatia, that's a very tall order to expect them to win. Very limited technical skill within this team. And they've got some decent players, Dynamo Zagreb, Dani Olmo, players like that. So, yeah, I think they'll win this one. 1.67 looks good. Yeah, maybe stick it in with Ajax for a double.
Okay, we're going to go on now to a tough place to play. Olympiacos host Krasnodar. Olympiacos 2.1, Krasnodar 4.1, and the draw at 3.45, Alex. Olympiacos or both teams to score?
I think that both teams to score represents huge value, but at 2.05, the best odds that you can get on the market right now with Betfair. But I really think that this Krasnodar side, after a brilliant double, two-leg tie against Porto. They pulled off a huge upset after losing the first leg 1-0 on their turf. They went to Porto, and at halftime, it was 3-0 for them. They just left 2 goals in the second half, but they still qualified. Draw double chance on Krasnodar is priced at 1.8. I think that they still have plenty decent, great squad not to lose in Greece. Yes, it's a tough place to visit. Both teams to score is also a great bet. I will take also that one, 2.05, but I will also take Krasnodar draw double chance at 1.8.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Krasnodar, they've just gone to Porto and scored 3 goals. And not only did they score 3 goals, they were 3-0 up. They actually took the game to Porto and they battered them and actually just sent them back in and said, no Champions League for you this year. Martin, Krasnodar, got to be impressed with them, home and away.
Very impressed with them. I thought Porto was a banker there. They got a good result in Russia, and then you just expected them to turn Krasnodar over in front of their home fans. They're a mainstay of the Champions League group stage. They often make it to the knockout stages of the tournament. So for Krasnodar to go there and beat them in the fashion they did, seriously impressive, and that should fire them up with a lot of confidence as they head to Greece to take on Olympiacos. But how do you judge this game? Olympiacos have played 4 matches already this season in Champions League qualifying. They haven't conceded a single goal. They look watertight. They got Valbuena pulling the strings behind the strikers. This just could go either way for me. Can't even look at goals, to be honest. I wouldn't touch this one with a barge pole.
And see there, in that whole sentence that you've just ended on, shows us how difficult the Champions League qualifiers are. We've seen 4, 5 big Champions League names go out already. We've seen so many teams that you think, well, these will keep clean sheets, and then they're involved in a basketball match that ends 4-3. It is so tough. We've just got to keep our powder dry and just make sure that when we go into the Champions League group stages, we then can make good profit. At the moment, I mean, it's looking at maybe Zagreb and Ajax in maybe a double. And if you want to really go for it, you could put in both teams to score in the Bruges game as well. I mean, we're going to put up the record now. Raphael's going to tell me that he's going to put up the record for the Champions League so far. And profit, I just automatically look at the profit. Minus 1.4 is like swimming the channel in the waters that are just infested with sharks so far. I mean, Alex, you're at 2.2. Martin, you're only a win away at minus 3.6. I know that we're Premier League punters, sometimes we're at 20 odd. Not we, obviously not me, but some of the others. They're like 20 odd units down, but come the end of the season in May, as that's where it really matters. So considering, boys, that we're like near enough break even, we're more than holding our own. And after the end of this week, we could be in positive territory. I'm going to let you go now. Just give me your banker. If you can, Martin, I know that's going to be really difficult for you because I know you find these games tough. But Alex, give me your banker of the 4 games we've covered, please.
I like LSAK Linz versus Club Brugge, both teams to score at 1.72. That's my banker for this first leg of the playoffs. But I also like Ajax and over 2.5 at 1.89, Zagreb at 1.77, Krasnodar versus Olympiacos, both teams to score at 2.05, and Krasnodar to win or to draw, so draw double chance, or who likes it more, plus 0.5 on the Asian handicap at 1.8.
Cheers, Alex. Martin, can you just,
have
you got anything to add?
I'll probably just go for Dynamo Zagreb, 1.67. Maybe put him in a double as well with Ajax, just to have an interest. But I'm keeping my stakes reasonably low for these qualifiers. I think it's good advice not to go in too hard and heavy on them. Evenly matched teams, a lot of unknown factors, a lot of players that we don't know that well, and they're going to be desperate for results, and that can lead to very strange outcomes on the pitch. So I'd keep the stakes relatively low for this round and then really get stuck into it when the group stage begins.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And the big thing I would say is that you can lose it tomorrow night, but you cannot qualify tomorrow night. And that's the big thing that I think some of these games will be, that teams will make sure that they're in the tie in the second leg. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Martin. We'll speak in soon.
Mate.
Take care.
Yes.
Thank you.
So coming up, we're going to now go for the Europa League first leg qualifiers. There's some big sides coming into this side. We're going to have Chef Michael on. We're going to have Alex Classic tips on as well. But just before that, have a little look. UFC, David Cormier at the weekend getting beat. I'll be chatting to Dave Betts this week on when he does the championship roundup. Also, Craig Edwards, golf. Medina this week, Justin Thomas shoots 61 course record. So now he's at the top of the FedEx rankings. We've been absolutely flying at Odds Market. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. 80 units of profit through the tennis boys that are flying. The Craig's doing the golf and the snooker. You've got the Premier League punters that will be back on Thursday this week with myself, Natalie and Martin. You've got to go back through the UFC with at Sports Keg and at Dave Betts. It's just an absolute recipe for making money. You've got to just make sure you subscribe at oddsmarket.com, and these shows are at Sports Daily. We're looking ahead. We're going to be going through Astana, and Borisov will be one of our first games. Looking at some of these Europa League, I don't know how they're actually going to fare with these first legs, because a lot of them are coming off a bit of a downer that they've not even qualified. You look at the Champions League and some of them would have said, okay, we'll just cruise through, we'll get to the Champions League group stages, but they're not in it. They didn't qualify. I mean, Celtic and Porto are the two for me that I thought would definitely qualify. Nowhere near it. Premier League punters over the weekend. Chelsea let quite a few of us down, but if you were watching, we had Sheffield United under 1.5 goals at 2. Bournemouth winning at Aston Villa 3.1. Man City drawing. I mean, a lot of coupons would have been busted with Man City's VAR goal being disallowed in the 93rd minute. And if you're a La Liga fan, what did you think? Valencia 1-0 up. Get a penalty, 92nd minute, miss it, and in 100 minutes, Sociedad get a penalty and convert it. I know that hit our household really, really badly, because Valencia were in there with a few other winners. I look down and I think to myself, okay, Barcelona getting beat away at Atletico Bilbao. Barcelona were bottom of the league for 24 hours, and then Real Madrid go and win. Atletico keep a clean sheet, nothing new there. So in Spain, is it all to play for? Will Barcelona come through? The big factor was no Messi, no Barcelona win. Real Madrid, without Hazard, Hazard's going to be away 3 or 4 games. They still get to winning ways away at Celta Vigo. Looking around the leagues, Man City drop points at home to Tottenham. Liverpool win at Southampton. And tonight we've got Wolves entertaining Manchester United. We look at think the Wolves only played 5 games so far, 4 in the Europa League, 1 in the Premier League. They've only let in 1 goal. Will Man United breach that tight and organised defence at Molineux? Some of the other games coming up. PSV versus Limassol in the Europa League qualifiers. We're going to be joined by Chef Michael and Alex Classic Tips. At the moment, we're still trying to get hold of Chef Michael. He seems to be on his holidays. So maybe we'll just go with Alex and we'll find out what Alex thinks of these games. I think they're a little bit probably easier than the Champions League because there's so much at stake. Alex, are you there? How are you doing?
Hey, glad to be back. Of course I'm here. I'm always here. I'm always here to join you every time you need me. Yeah, I can only you can only hear myself. You cannot see it right now, but maybe Rafa will do a split screen here, and you will also see me.
Yeah, I'm happy just to talk to you in the meantime, though. That's no problem at all. I mean, when you look at these games on the Europa League final qualifiers, are you like got some sides that you really do favour?
I don't know. I think that the Europa League qualifiers are an underrated league to make money. A lot of people are thinking that it's very tough to bet on Europa League qualifiers, but we here at Odds Market on our YouTube channel, on our weekly show, Europa League show, are making a lot of money. Both Chef Michael and my tips were brilliant in the last 2 weeks. Since we started to keep our record, and I think that we lost just 3 of our tips. So that says a lot. Our ROI is brilliant. I think that we are around 10 units of profit, and I think that it's another round of fixtures in which we can do a lot of money. I wrote an article over to oddsmarket.com like I'm usually doing. I'm hitting these treble bets week in and week out, Champions League and Europa League, and so you can go to visit our site and look at those 2 treble bets, 1 from Champions League and 1 for Europa League.
Alex, did you have a futures in the Europa League? Did you think there was at one side, or was it too difficult because obviously the Champions League sides that get knocked out in the group stages come on over?
Yeah, it was an interesting line with the bookies. The winner will come from Champions League. So it was around 4.0, I think, that the winner of this season will come from Champions League. And I took it because many teams important are playing in Champions League, and some of them they will be very unlucky, and some of the big names will go third and they will go in Europa League. So this is why I took it at 4.0, the winner of the Europa League to come from the Champions League.
Okay, I think we've got Chef Michael now. Chef Michael, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing, Flash?
No worries at all. No worries at all. We look at these. I mean, listen, your records, the pair of you, has been absolutely outstanding so far. Do you have any caution going into these first leg final qualifiers in the Europa League?
Yeah, I found it pretty tough. I was looking over a bunch of the matches last night that I liked, and still had a bunch of just second guessing and trying to go back and forth on what I wanted to play and where to find the value. So yeah, I found this first leg pretty tough.
Is it because obviously this is their final hurdle, and again a little bit like the Champions League, if they're going to go into the second leg, they need to be in it. Both teams need to be in it. You can get knocked out tomorrow night, but you can't qualify tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, a lot of these teams are going to be facing a lot of the competition that, it's a step up in class than what they're used to playing. And so the value really wasn't there on some of the teams, but I think we found some good games here.
Okay, well, before we go into the Europa final qualifiers, maybe we could get the record up so far, Raphael. Maybe we can have a little look to see how well the boys have been doing. Completely different than the Champions League. Raphael, can you get the record up for us? Because I think the boys are doing quite well on the Europa League bets.
Yes, it's up.
There you go. 17 picks, 14 wins, drawn straight across to the profit, 10.6 units, and they're just in the qualifiers. I think that will only go up when we get to the group stages. Let me start off, boys, by applauding you. Great win. Keep it up. Let's see if we can find any value. First game up is going to be Astana versus Bate Borisov. Bate Borisov, normally Champions League team. They've got to be gutted to be Europa candidates. What do you think? Alex, fire away.
Bate Borisov, yeah, in the past Champions League team, not anymore. I don't think that they have the same team as they used to be 3-4 years ago. Yes, they are decent. They are a good team. They are a home team most of all. They are beating a lot of good sides at home. But on the road, when it is to go to Astana, I think that the value is with the visitors. Yes, Astana are absolutely brilliant at home. They cruised right now on the two Europa League stages. They were beaten, they were knocked out by CFR Cluj from the Champions League, but against the Europa League sides, they are cruising 4-1 against Santa Coloma. Okay, you will say to me again that these teams, Valletta, Santa Coloma, are very, very poor. But they beat them without problems, 4-1, 5-1. On the other side, Bate Borisov, they were knocked out by Rosenborg from the Champions League. On the road, they lost against Rosenborg 2-0, and I think that they will lose against Astana, a difficult place to visit. The pitch will be, again, not natural 100% there in Astana. So I'm thinking Astana at 1.91, great value.
Chef Michael, are you going to the home side as well?
Yeah, I completely agree. Astana, since they've got knocked out of Champions League, have been, like Alex said, just been destroying their competition. And that's what they're supposed to do against teams that are poor like that. I mean, they're supposed to beat them. You look over the two legs against Valletta, they beat them 9-1 over those two legs. And like Alex said, 4-1 against Santa Coloma. I mean, that's what they're supposed to do against teams like that. I mean, you'd have to worry about them if they were just barely getting by teams like that. So I think being home, value's got to be on Astana here. I'm all over at 1.91, same as Alex.
Yeah, I mean, they were a shade of even, so, I mean, the line's definitely moving in Astana's favour. Alex, I'm going to come to you with Ghent versus Rijeka. Ghent, they look like one of the better bets on the card, and if you were to put them in a parlay, maybe with a couple of Champions League sides, would I be on the right track?
Yes, absolutely. They are on my Europa League treble bets at 1.68 there. Ghent, a brilliant side. I think that they will be one of the surprise packages this season in Europa League. I think that with a little bit of luck, they will exit the group stage. Not only they will qualify, but they will exit the group stage. Rijeka are good, but they are not at Ghent level right now. Ghent, absolutely brilliant kick off their season also in their domestic league. They are scoring goals for fun. At home, they are absolutely brilliant. I think that they scored in the last 4 home matches 17 goals across all competitions in Europa League, also in their domestic league. and Rijeka are struggling to keep clean sheets. So Gent, with their attacking firepower, they should solve the qualification issue from home. I'm going straight Gent as my banker for this Europa League. But if you want to push it furthermore, you can go Gent -1 on the Asian handicap at 2.1.
That sounds like a bit of okay. I mean, if you're going to do a parlay, then Ghent at 1.68. But you might be able to get 1.7 in a place, or if you just hang on, you might be able to just fish around. Chef Michael, we're going to go Legia versus Rangers. This game's got value all over it. Where'd you find it?
Oh, it's got to be on the Rangers. I mean, I was on Rangers in both legs in the last round. I'm going to keep riding them. This Rangers team is absolutely brilliant. And Legia at home are pretty poor. The last 5, they've 2 draws and 1 loss, and 4 of those were under 2.5. And they like to keep it tight, but I don't think they've really seen a class squad like this Rangers team. So I'm all over the Rangers again. 2.85 is what I have found.
2.85, that's like massive compared to the 2.4 that's on odds checker. So whereabouts did you get that 2.85?
That is at Bookmaker.
Right, okay. I mean, well, obviously, if you're a Rangers supporter and you fancy that, 2.85 is just unbelievable. Alex,
the odds are dropping for that match. Now you can find the best odds at Bet365 in Europe at 2.37. So if you find the odds that Michael said, jump on them if you are in USA, because obviously Bookmaker is a US-based bookmaker. So if you are there and if you want to take some great set of odds at 2.85 is absolutely brilliant.
There's going to be no 2.85 left. Look at Chef Michael. He's been feasting on it all night, hasn't he? That's why he was late on. We were like, Chef Michael. He's like, hang on a minute. More Rangers. Okay, let's go to Holland next. PSV against Apollon Limassol. This is just like a one-way traffic, surely, Alex.
Yeah, it should be a one-way traffic. I don't think that there's... I think that it will not happen an upset here. I think that PSV are so strong right now in comparison with Apollon, because if you ask me PSV versus Ajax, I will say to you Ajax. But when you are playing at home against Apollon Limassol, you should win them from halftime. This is what I'm going with. Win from halftime at 1.95. PSV halftime, full time 1.95. Brilliant set of odds, and I think that PSV easily they will bounce back after their let's say struggles against Basel in Champions League. They were knocked out by Basel a few rounds ago in the Champions League qualifiers. After that, they passed Hogesund, and here they are against the poor Apollon side on the road. If it was in Cyprus, probably I will take another approach. But in the Netherlands, all eyes on PSV here, rolling from halftime, full time at 1.95.
Yeah, that's what you do. You shop around, you find the value. And I tell you what, Alex, that's probably one of the best I've heard this week. Chef Michael, Strasbourg versus Eintracht Frankfurt. Eintracht Frankfurt, good performance over the weekend. Will they go on the road and get it done again?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty tough spot for them. They go on the road to Strasbourg, and then they got to come back and go to RB Leipzig over the weekend in the Bundesliga. But I think this is going to be a pretty tough spot. Strasbourg is obviously going to want to keep it pretty tight and not give up an away goal, and then try to travel to Germany in the next round and try to solve a qualification there. But I think Eintracht, they still have too much talent to go out there and maybe lose. So I got Eintracht at draw no bet at 1.77. I think Eintracht can at least manage a draw out there.
Yeah, I mean, this game is one of them games I look at it and I think unders all day long. I'm just looking at it thinking both these sides have got the discipline and the patience to wait until the last half hour of the second leg to push or shove. I mean, draw no bet, 1.77 Eintracht Frankfurt. I can honestly see maybe a 0-0 or a 1-0 in this game.
1.9.
I just don't see many of the teams, either of the teams, wanting to go and commit and get hit on the break. Let's go Torino versus Wolves, because this, for me, is the tie of the round. Wolves have played 4 times so far. They've only let in 1 goal. Torino just did as they liked, went away last time, drew 1-1. Never mind, we're already through. Torino versus Wolves, Alex.
Before that, I want to say some tips from the chat. Brilliant tips. PSV to score in both halves from Barca at 2.04. At 2.04, I think that's a great take. PSV minus 1.5 at 1.95. Gabriel Hernandez is saying Celtic -1, but maybe we'll arrive at that game later. About this Torino versus Wolves, I think that we are talking about 2 great attacking teams. I'm comparing the 2 strikers a little bit, Belotti and Raúl Jiménez. I think that they are absolutely brilliant in front of the net, and I think that at least one of them should find the back of the net in this game, if not both. So if you find some great odds on anytime goal scorer on Andrea Belotti or Raúl Jiménez, take it, because I'm sure that one of them at least will score. I'm going both teams to score at 1.8. I think that Torino are a little bit overrated in this match. I'd like Wolverhampton to qualify further in the group stage, and we can find that right now at 1.62 with Unibet. I think that it will not be decided in the first leg. I think that everything will be decided in England when Wolves next week will host Torino. Wolves are playing today, and this is my only worry about it, because it's Monday and they have less days to prepare. Absolutely is a plus for them, because they played so many competitive matches till now in both Europa League qualifiers, but also now in the Premier League, in the English top flight league. Torino, no competitive matches on their domestic league. They only played 2 qualifiers against very, very poor sides like Debrecen and Shakhtar Soligorsk. So I think that it will count a lot. I was looking at draw double chance Wolves, but it's very low at 1.53. You can go as far as Wolves with draw no bet at 2.05. Something tells me that Wolves will not lose this first leg. I think that they will try to keep it tight. I see a 1-1 type of game here with both teams scoring in this one.
Couldn't agree more, Alex. I think this Wolves side are so suited by European football. I think they'll completely strangle. And whenever I speak about Wolves, I'm going to use strangle so many times. I think they'll dominate midfield. I think they'll pass them to death. And I think that that's probably one of the strongest bets with Wolves 2.05. I really like that. I don't see them getting beat in Torino. I really don't. I think they'll be far too good over the 2 legs as well. Now then, this is a game tricky as you like. Celtic at home to AIK, and I look at it after Celtic last week let me down 3 times against Cluj. Chef Michael.
Yeah, besides that Champions League loss to Cluj, I mean, Celtic haven't lost at home since February in their last Europa League loss to Valencia. They've kept 8 clean sheets in the last 15 going back to last season. And, I don't really like to go back that far, but they pretty much the same team as they've had last season. And AIK are pretty terrible away from Sweden. I mean, they've won their last 3 matches, but it was against pretty lower quality opposition. I think the Celtic team is going to be way too strong, and I could see it getting pretty ugly for AIK heading out there to Scotland. I got Celtic -1 at 2.0. I see Celtic at least winning by 1 goal. So at the worst, I get my money back.
Wow, I don't know.
Can I have a bet also for this match? It's not on my list, but I want to have one bet for this match.
Go on, Alex.
Okay, I expect Celtic to absolutely smash. I couldn't find the value in the morning. I don't know. I had 2 coffees. I wrote the treble bets article. I capped the matches from Champions League and Europa League, and I looked so much at the Celtic match, and right now it just came to me, hit me, bang. So Celtic and over 1.5 goals in the match at 1.83, and I think that Celtic can score on their own at least 2 goals in this one.
I really don't know if I can stick my hand in a dog's mouth again and get it chewed off. I really can't. I mean, last week I had Celtic in about 3 different situations, and they still found a way to get done. I just can't. I just don't know. Obviously, you boys are trying to give me a bit of confidence. I'll have a little think about it. Chef Michael, give me a rundown of your bets, please.
Yeah, I got Celtic -1 at 2.0. Eintracht draw no bet 1.77. Rangers at 2.85 and Astana at 1.83.
Do you have a favourite there?
I'm going to go with Astana as a banker.
Go on then, Astana. Alex, fire me yours and give me a banker at the end, please.
I'm going Gent at 1.68 against Rijeka. I'm going PSV, Apollon, halftime, full-time at 1.95. Astana at 1.91 to beat Bate. Torino versus Wolves, both teams to score at 1.9. But I also fancy, not as an official bet, Wolves with draw no bet, there at 2.05. Banker of the week, Celtic and over 1.5 goals at 1.83.
Cheers, Alex. Cheers, Chef Michael. Go easy, boys. Let's hope every bet's a winning one. And I'll see you again soon. This has been at Sportsbet Daily at oddsmarket.com. Tomorrow you can join me. I'll be joined by golf and snooker guru Craig Edwards. I'll have at Dave Betts on going through the Championship football, but I will be mentioning Cormier after he gets beat by Stipe. And also we'll have Adam on talking eSports. Go well. Till next time. Take care.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.